When most people think about accounting, they picture these dusty old ledgers or maybe just endless soul-crushing spreadsheets. But what if I told you that at its heart, accounting is actually all about storytelling? It's the language a business uses to tell the world and itself what's going on. But here's the twist. What if a company needs to tell two completely different stories at the exact same time? Let's dive into that. Right. It's not just a pile of numbers. Think of it more like a company's biography. It takes all this complex, messy data and turns it into a clear narrative about where the company has been, how healthy it is right now, and maybe even where it's headed. And you better believe understanding that story is absolutely crucial. So here's where it gets interesting. Imagine a company that has to tell one story to its investors, the public, and the government, and a totally different story to its own internal team. Now, this isn't about being sneaky or hiding the truth. It's about tailoring the narrative for completely different audiences who have completely different questions. This is exactly why we have two main kinds of accounting. Okay, so let's start with that first story, the one that's out there for the whole world to see. This is the official, public-facing record. This is what we call financial accounting. The entire goal of financial accounting is pretty straightforward: to give outsiders, people like you, me, potential investors, banks, and government agencies, a clear, honest picture of how the company has been doing. And to understand this story, you have to know its key traits. First, its audience is always external. Second, it's always looking in the rearview mirror. It's retrospective, summarizing what's already happened. And maybe most importantly, to make sure everyone can trust this story, it has to follow a super strict set of rules. Now, you might look at all of these rules and think, wow, that's a ton of red tape, but they are essential. They create a common ground, a shared financial language that every company has to speak. It's all about creating a fair and transparent marketplace. And that standardization is what lets an investor compare apples to apples. It means you can look at a tech company in California and a manufacturing company in Germany and actually make a meaningful comparison. It's really the foundation of a trustworthy global market. All right, so if financial accounting is the public biography, what's the private story? Well, that's the internal playbook. It's the secret strategy guide that's only for the eyes of the company's own team. And we call this management accounting. This slide nails the difference perfectly. Financial accounting is that finished, published biography about the past. But management accounting, that's the director's script. It's messy, it's full of notes, and it's all about planning what's going to happen in the next scene. With management accounting, the audience is completely different. It's all internal. We're talking about the managers, the executives, the people on the ground who need very specific information to figure out their next move. And because the audience and purpose are so different, the rules get thrown out the window. Management accounting is all about the future. It's about budgets, forecasts, and what-if scenarios. There are no strict standards, which means reports can be totally customized to answer very specific questions like, should we launch this new product? Or is this department efficient enough? And this is where management accounting really gets to flex its muscles. It's not just about reporting what happened. It's an active tool used to make things happen. It's the financial compass that helps steer the entire company's strategy. Okay, theory is great, but let's make this tangible. Let's look at how this all plays out in the real world with a couple of quick examples. All right, so first up, a classic case for financial accounting. Picture an investor. They're trying to figure out if they should buy stock in a company. What do they need? They need reliable, standardized data so they can make a smart, informed decision. This table here is a perfect example. It shows price to earnings, or PE ratios. It's basically a quick way to gauge a company's value. And because every public company has to calculate their earnings using the same set of rules, investors can use this one metric to quickly compare totally different businesses. It's a fantastic example of financial accounting in action. Now let's flip the script and talk about management accounting. Think about a brand new startup. They probably don't have any profits yet. So a traditional financial report showing profit and loss, it's pretty much useless to them. They need a totally different way to measure if they're actually making progress. And that's where this really cool idea called innovation accounting comes in. Instead of obsessing over profit, it focuses on something called validated learning. It's all about tracking how much the startup is learning about its customers and its market. For instance, did that new ad campaign we ran actually bring in users who stick around? That's validated learning, and it helps managers make those tough calls. Do we keep going with this strategy, or is it time to pivot? So we have these two very different stories that every company tells. But here's the crucial takeaway. They're not separate worlds. They're truly just two sides of the same coin. And to be successful, a company absolutely needs both. It's really a beautiful partnership. The historical data you get from financial accounting, that's the solid ground, the benchmark. And the future plans made using management accounting, they use that benchmark as their starting point. You really can't have one without the other. So let's just boil it all down one last time. This table gives you the perfect snapshot. Financial accounting is for outsiders, looks at the past, follows strict rules, and its purpose is just to show performance. Management accounting? That's for insiders. It's focused on the future, the rules are flexible, and its purpose is to actually drive decisions. So the next time you see a company's financial report or sit in on a strategy meeting, just ask yourself, what story are these numbers telling me? And maybe more importantly, who is this story for? Because understanding the difference between these two stories, well, that's the key to truly understanding any business.